Okay, we're streaming over. We're getting ready to connect to all of our mystery and thriller friends over on Facebook. This is so exciting. We're all excited to meet you. And it looks like we are live. I'm just checking over here. Welcome, mighty mystery friends. I'm your on-air host, Sara DiVello, and I am thrilled to be hosting Allie Reynolds all the way from Australia today to tell us about her brand new book, Shiver. Allie, welcome. Tell us about your book.
Thank you so much. Yes, so my book, Shiver, is published in the US today. I'm so excited. Shiver is set in the French Alps. It starts as 5 former snowboarding friends are invited to an isolated mountaintop reunion. 10 years ago, they were snowboarders training and competing in the tiny resort until tragedy struck. So now it's the off season and the cable car's running just for them. As they go up on the long journey up to the glacier to the reunion venue, there's confusion over who invited them. When they reach the top, the ski lodge there is dark and deserted. An icebreaker game has been laid out for them. The game reveals their darkest secrets and suggests that one of them is a killer. But the cable car's no longer running. There's no easy way down. If they want to survive, they need to find what really happened that winter 10 years ago.
Wow, Allie, that's terrifying. Like, I'm sweating just thinking about it. Oh my God, this is so exciting. I can't wait to get into every little bit of that. And I just want to pause and welcome everyone on Facebook. Welcome everybody. Gail says, hi Sarah, an international day. Gail, you're right. Our first guests were tuning in from New Zealand. Now we've got Australia in the house. This is amazing. Hi Rena. Hi, Christy. Hi, Alan. Hi, everybody. So if you've been here before, you know how it works. And if you're new, welcome. We're so happy to have you. This is your chance to chat with our featured author, Allie Reynolds, and ask her anything about her brand new locked room thriller, which is already reminding me of The Shining. I can't wait. And also to ask her anything about her writing, her process, her life in Australia, her past as an amazing snowboarder. What? And as you can see, I've set up a little après snowboarding set here with Pelu the trusty Wonder Pup by my side. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Leslie's saying hi from Alabama. Leslie, welcome. Great to have Alabama in the house. How you doing? So while you're thinking of your questions, I know it always takes me a moment. I have got to share some of Allie's incredible praise because my God, this woman is blowing it up. So Pop, Sugar, and Bustle, 2 of my favorite sites, have named Shiver a most anticipated book of January. Allie, wow, that's amazing. Kirkus Reviews, who the New York Times famously called reliably curmudgeonly, gave this book a starred review, which is amazing praise. And they said, deep in the breathtaking winter bleakness of the French Alps, revenge and perhaps even murder is most definitely afoot. This suspenseful debut thriller by a former freestyle snowboarder contains both style and substance. Allie, wow. Library Journal also gave it a starred review. My God, woman, just stars all over the place, saying a buzzy debut. The story alternates between the present and 10 years prior, ratcheting up the suspense and spooling out a cast of intriguing characters drawn together atop a picturesque yet deadly mountain. Reynolds, a former international snowboarder, delivers the thrills in this must-read debut. The New York Post said, this will chill you to the bone. My God, Allie, this is incredible praise. Tell us, what's your secret? How do you write just a fantastic book?
Yeah, thank you. I am just, this year has been like a total dream. I'm just blown away by the things that people have been saying about the book. I've been trying to write novels for more than 20 years. And yeah, 20 years ago, I was a snowboarder and I started writing a mountain set book back then. And I struggled with this book for 20 years and put it aside in about 2018. And yeah, then started writing Shiver, and that one just came smoothly, and it's just really been a dream ever since.
Wow. Okay, that's so cool. Well, first of all, let's talk about your past as this amazing snowboarder. I've never even had my feet in skis. I'm scared of breaking my neck. How did you
Oh.
do all that crazy, dangerous stuff?
Yeah, well, I was snowboarding back in the very early years of the sport. So I think my first full winter season was the first year that snowboarding even became an Olympic sport. So really, it was just back in the early days. There was no money in the sport. People were doing it just for the passion. And of course, since then, it's just progressed amazingly. And I'm just, yeah, watching, blown away with what people can do. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's so cool. And you knew you wanted to set your book in the snowy mountains.
Yes, ever since I was there, there was just this amazing white world at the top of the mountain. It's so different to anywhere else, you know, down in the valley, we go to work, we do the chores, and we just have the normal life. And up there on the mountain, it's just a white world where the weather just plays a massive role. You know, there's cliffs and crevasses and avalanches. There's places where you can put a foot in the wrong place and just fall off the mountain. So yeah, it's just a really atmospheric and dangerous world. So I thought it would be a great setting for a thriller.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I mean, it's dangerous there. As you said, you could put a foot wrong, you could, die in an avalanche, or in Shiver, you could get murdered by one of your cabin mates, one of the other guests, your who you think is a friend. But it sounds like you've almost made the weather an extra, another character as well as atmosphere.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that helps to add atmosphere because, yeah, nature is king up there, you know, like
Mm.
there's so much that's out of your control. The weather comes in very fast, changes really fast when you're on a mountain. So a big storm can come in. It can cut you off quite easily. It can cut the road off. It can snow you into a building, maybe with your rivals. So that could be an interesting prospect if you're an athlete. So yeah, it offered a lot of opportunities as a thriller writer.
And why did you want to write a thriller, Allie? What was the attraction there?
Oh, I guess I love reading thrillers. I love the fast pace. I love the twists, you know. So I love the way we can have surprise after surprise. You never quite know what's going to happen.
Mm.
And, you know, that makes you grip to the storyline. I think they're just a really compelling form of story because you just, you know, you're holding your breath the whole time. Yeah.
So a bit of danger, a bit of twists, and a fast pace. You could be describing snowboarding or your book. We don't know. I love it. And that's what I love about thrillers too, is that especially right now, my attention span is so over demanded. And so
So
it's
true.
shrunk to the size of a gnat. I can only read mystery and thrillers right now because
Yes.
they have got to keep me, right there and absorbed. So you mentioned you've been wanting to write this book for 20 years. You actually were
That's
writing
right.
another book,
Yes.
and you put that one aside, and this one seems to have come very quickly to you because here it is, just 19 days into 2021, and you already have it done and out. Tell us about the process of writing the first one, you know struggling through it for 20 years, and tell us about the process of the second one, fast and
Yeah,
quick.
sure. So yeah, my first winter season in the French Alps, I kept a journal that first winter, and then it sort of changed into a story. So all the following winters, I lugged out my ancient word processor in the back of my little car, and anytime there was a winter storm, I was sitting there, you know, typing. But really, that was my first proper attempt at writing a novel. So the storyline kind of just went on and on. I didn't plan it out at all. And so I wrestled it with a bit. I put it aside and I had to go, I think, at three other books. And then I returned to this mountain set book because I really couldn't get the idea of this setting out of my head. And
Mm.
I struggled with it. I was pulling my hair out and I just couldn't quite get it, you know, the storyline working. So I never submitted it or anything. I decided my weakness was probably plot. So I decided I'm going to read every book on writing that I can get my hands on. And yeah, so I just became obsessed with story and read lots of craft books, and that helped me so much. I decided I needed to plan my next novel because I thought that was where I was going wrong. So I spent a whole month planning Shiver once I got the idea, and I planned it out onto little post-it notes, which I stuck on a giant whiteboard. There was one post-it for every scene, so there's about 80 post-it notes. There were 2 different colors because my novel is dual timeline. It has now and then 10 years ago. And I spent a long time, days even, just shuffling these little post-it notes about to try to get the right order. I wanted to alternate between the past and the present and gradually reveal the things. And I wanted to end on cliffhangers in each scene to try to, you know, keep the reader's interest. And yes, a month felt like a really long time to spend planning. And I thought, what am I doing? I'm spending all this time. I haven't written a single word. But then once I actually started writing it, it just made it so much easier. The writing process was really smooth. It took me about 6 months to get a full first draft. And I have to edit obsessively as I go along. So really by the time I'd finished the first draft, a lot of it had been edited hundreds of times. And then it went out to some beta reader friends. And yeah, I was getting good feedback. So the submission process happened quite quickly.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I want to welcome Carolyn and Kristen and Jane. Jane is saying Shiver is on her to read list. Yeah, Jane, me too. And now it's out in the US and we can read it. So this is so great to have the author right here with us. Let us know what questions you have for her. Allie, tell us the story of the cover and the title. Was this number 1? Was this number 101? Walk us through that.
So when I originally wrote it, I called it the icebreaker because the characters at the Union find this icebreaker game laid out for them. And really it does the opposite of what you'd want an icebreaker game to do. You know, you hope it breaks the ice and gets them all nice and friendly and warmed up, but instead it reveals some horrible secrets. And then they're stuck with these people knowing their secrets, and it just makes it a really uncomfortable situation. But when I submitted it and found an agent, the agent wasn't sure about the title. She felt it wasn't strong enough. I guess an icebreaker could be a ship. So, you know, a ship that breaks the ice.
Yes.
So we might have a bit of confusion there. And so we brainstormed other titles. Titles are so hard. We went back and forth a little bit. And then eventually she came up with Shiver at 4 in the morning one day when she couldn't sleep. And I loved it.
Oh, wow. So your agent came up with it and then, you just knew it was right.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful to her. She's just incredible.
Now that is dedication, Allie. She's awake at 4 a.m. thinking of you and your book. that is dedication. Now tell us about the cover.
The cover, yes. So I'm really thrilled that Shiver will be published in 20 territories now. And it has different covers in most of the territories. So the UK cover is quite different to the US cover. The UK have gone for a very white sort of cover with mountains. And the US cover, we have like a girl with her back and a little cozy ski resort on it. And in some of the other countries, yeah, again, they're very different. One of them, we've just got a mountain with snowboard tracks or an empty chairlift swinging in the wind. So yeah, I love that, all these different covers.
Do you have a favorite, Allie?
I don't think so, because yeah, I love all of them. They're all great. I know a lot of work has gone behind each one, and I guess each one is designed to suit a slightly different readership in that country.
Yes, yes. Isn't it amazing how different they are and what resonates with us? Because I love the American cover. I love the US cover.
Oh, thank you. Me too.
Jane saying she loves to see covers from other countries. Me too, Jane. And it's amazing how different they are, like what resonates and what works with all the different, different cultures. It's absolutely fascinating. So Allie, what's without giving anything away, what's one of your favorite scenes from the book and why?
Okay, so yeah, I think there's not very much sport as shown in fiction. So, and I love a few books that I've read that do have a sports theme. So yeah, I wanted to actually try and give readers the feeling of what it is like to fly above the ice of a half pipe. So yeah, I really enjoy particularly writing some of the scenes set 10 years ago when my characters are athletes, training and competing and doing these really dangerous stunts. And also we've got a few mind games and strategies being played by their rivals at the time, just to make it a little bit extra dangerous.
Ooh, I love that. Yes, because for scaredy cats like me, who likes to be curled up in front of the fire with my little cat-sized dog and a good book, who's never going to have the sensation of whizzing down a hill at a breakneck pace, this is a chance for me to snowboard in your shoes.
Without hurting yourself or breaking anything. Yeah.
And I think without breaking anything. Exactly. This is my shot, Allie. This is my one chance.
So I think also, no, go ahead. Sorry.
No. So your fate. That's what you love is to give us that chance to get to see sport, as you said, and to experience the feeling of going down the hill of flying.
Yes, and another part that I really enjoyed writing was the romance subplot, because I don't know about you, but I really love when we've got a romance subplot in thrillers. So yeah, there's a bit of a love triangle, quite a few love triangles going on actually. And I'm really fascinated by athletes, and what would it be like to have a relationship with somebody like that, especially an extreme sports athlete who is, throwing themselves in the air and doing stunts that could actually kill them. What are they like as partners and friends and rivals? So yeah, we've got a romance subplot going on between some of the characters in the book.
A romance subplot to keep us warm. I love it. Karen is saying she is so excited to read this book. It sounds so cool. Karen, I totally agree. Karen's a top community member and actually just joining the Blaze team as a volunteer. Karen, great to see you here. Marisa, great to have you as well. Jane is saying my sport is close to the ground. Me too. I know. I'm a lover of the land, of safety. My sport is extreme reading.
Cool.
Barbara, welcome. Kimberly saying that she also loves seeing the different covers. Very cool. And Allie, what are you working on now?
Yeah, so I had a 2-book contract, so I'm working on my next book, which is a thriller, and it's got a very different setting. This one is set on a remote beach here in Australia, where I live. So we've gone from the snow and the ice to the ocean and the waves. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's a very different setting, but I hope a similar sort of story.
Yes, exactly. Because there is something in just sort of inherently chilling about being in a remote location and knowing that there's sort of an element of survival here. Like you might have to just save your own life, braving the elements, whether it's beach or whether it's mountains. It's you.
I love dangerous natural settings, where nature, can take over everything. It's not like when you're in a city and you can just maybe pick up your phone and call the police and, you can be quite far away and have to somehow survive and get yourself out of a difficult situation. So,
yes, exactly. I feel like I need to go do some push-ups and get ready for that moment should it ever arise. Gail would like to know, what are some authors that inspire your writing? Ooh, Gail, great question. Top community member in Gail. Tell us that, Allie.
Sure. So I am a massive fan of thrillers. I read so many different thriller writers. So some of my favorites are Erica Florencic, who again writes thrillers set in dangerous natural places. The River at Night, about 4 women whitewater rafting down an amazing remote river. I loved it. And Karen Dion, again, really dangerous settings and just so tense and gripping. Shari Lapina, Ruth Ware, here in Australia, Jane Harper, C.L. Taylor, Claire McIntosh.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. I love Ruth Ware too. She's actually been on the show. Awesome. She came on last summer and she's coming back in May. We're so excited. Jane Harper's coming on February 2nd. She's fantastic. And I love how she has these tales of survival in the Australian bush, where you have got to carve out your own survival as well. And Karen Dion has also been on the show for for her latest. So she's fantastic. I love all of those. Gail saying today is Edgar Allan Poe's birthday. Very cool. An original scary writer in him. I love that. So Allie, tell us, what was the hardest part about writing this book and what was the easiest part?
That is a hard one. One hard thing actually was I love books with a really strong sense of place. So I wanted to try and pull that off for Shiver, but I was writing most of Shiver in the middle of a Queensland heat wave. So I was literally sitting in as few clothes as possible at my desk, sweating with the fan on full, trying to write about snow and ice and Arctic conditions. So I had to I actually went on YouTube and watched some, snowboarding videos where people had GoPros and they're racing down the slopes, through the trees, and just trying to remember what it was like, because I haven't seen snow for 10 years now. I'm very far away from the snow here. It never snows where we are. My two little boys, they've never seen snow. So yeah, that was a hard part, trying to make it really make the reader feel the snow.
Right. That feeling of bone deep cold. I live in Boston, and that feeling is all too familiar to me.
I hate the cold. It sounds funny for a snowboarder to say. I really hate it. That's why I moved to Queensland. Yeah.
Yes. And I have lived in Queensland, and it is fantastic there. Yeah, I lived in Brisbane.
My favorite place on earth. Yeah.
I went to the University of Queensland. I love Australia. I love Brisbane. I love Queensland.
Oh.
Jane would like to know, what do you like to do in your free time?
So in my free time, I'm a massive fan of surfing. I haven't snowboarded now for about 10 years. I'm in my 40s now. So really snowboarding is very much a young person's sport. If we're talking half pipe and freestyle, I switched to surfing about 15 years ago, and I just fell in love with it right from the start. It's like snowboarding, but if you fall, you're falling on water instead of ice. Yeah, so, at first I was like, wow, I can't hurt myself if I try, but since then I've actually had a lot of injuries from surfing. I've probably smashed myself up more even from snowboarding. Wow. So I'm quite cautious these days. I also just love being on the beach. So I'll go for a run on the deep sand. I go for a swim. I take my kids in the water. They're learning to surf. So yeah, just being outdoors and around the ocean.
Was it easier for you, Allie, do you think, because you have been on a board previously in the snow? Was it easier to keep your balance and surf, you think?
I would say personally, I find surfing the hardest sport imaginable, because a lot of it is just about even getting out to where the waves are breaking. And then every wave is different, unlike, a ski slope or a half pipe where you can practice the same thing over and over. So you never know what it's going to be like, if it'll be big waves or little waves or messy waves. Really hard. I think the snowboarding helped from the point of view of getting smashed. I didn't mind taking my falls. It was good preparation, but I am hopeless as a surfer. You really have to do it from a young age, I think.
Oh, okay. I've never surfed. I'm suddenly feeling very unsporty.
Yeah. Oh.
Jane is saying she loves everything. It's so true. It snows here every day. Oh, Jane, exactly. Wow. She said, this all sounds so exciting. Jane, I totally agree.
Oh, thank you.
We're loving hearing about your life in Australia and in Queensland, and about the process of writing this book. So tell us what your writing practice is like. I mean, do you rise with the sun? Are you a morning writer? Do you just sort of flow effortlessly to your desk and listen to the chirping of the tropical birds outside there in Queensland as you sip your coffee?
There are so many tropical birds. I don't know if you can hear them. We've just got lorikeets, these little green and red parrots that live in there. They are really noisy. I can see them right now. Before I wrote Shiver, I was not on any social media at all. I think I had like 100 Facebook friends from school or something. So yeah, then it was just purely sitting down and writing. I write longhand on paper, and then I type it up on Word and edit. So that was quite different how I wrote Shiver. These days, I would say I spend a couple of hours each morning doing social media, which, you know, it's great to network with other writers and readers, but also it's quite a distraction as a writer. You've got to really watch out for it, I would say. Yeah, I'm a single mom of 2 little boys. So I just work pretty much every free hour at the moment when my boys are not at home. They're really noisy. And yeah, when they're here, I just cannot write at all. We just give up. So yeah, if they're at school or if they're at their dad's, yes, yeah, papers out. I pin myself to my desk and yeah, try to write.
Oh, wow. It's so cool. Also so cool that you're a single mom and you're a writer and you're doing all these things. This is amazing. This is really,
it's an amazing job to do as a single parent. I'd say to write at home. I feel really, really fortunate that I'm able to do that while they're little and while they're at school. Yeah, I'm very, very lucky, I know.
And it's so interesting that you write your draft longhand first.
Yeah.
I actually just received an advanced copy of a book called Biohack Your Brain, which HarperCollins is putting out.
Okay.
And they were saying in the book, this neuroscientist is saying that actually writing longhand stimulates a part of your brain that typing does not. So she actually
I've heard that too. Yes.
If you want to build your brain and really amp up your mental processes and protect your brain's wellness and health, you should actually write longhand every day.
Oh, that is good to hear. I will keep doing it because I hate actually writing first draft on the computer. It's really hard to think, and on paper it just seems to flow more. But I'm a really messy writer, so I will write on paper and then there's little arrows and asterisks and crossings out. So you know, it's so messy, the first draft.
Yes, exactly. And I, yeah, this is so interesting because I always think it would take so much longer to do it longhand, but I guess if you're getting more efficient because your brain is firing on all neurons, then you're actually becoming more efficient. So that is so cool. So how many would you say you write for an hour at a time, or how long at a time did you write?
Time just goes. If I get really into it, I'll sit down and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's 4 o'clock. I need to go pick up my kids from, you know, from after school care. So yeah, on a good day, it will be, all day long, just with stopping to eat and drink some more coffee. Yeah.
Keeping caffeinated to keep the thoughts going. I love it. Me too. So who's a writer, dead or alive, that you'd love to meet?
I would have to say Agatha Christie, because she's just such a classic, isn't she? So many stories, you know, what an amazing brain to come up with all those stories, especially And Then There Were None. So that is probably my favorite novel of all time, just because of the incredible storyline. And yes, what an interesting conversation we could have.
Oh my gosh, what an interesting conversation we could have. Oh my gosh, we have just 1 minute left with Allie. If anyone has any last questions for her, just go ahead. I'm monitoring right here, and my partner in crime, pun intended, Kimberly, is also monitoring. Kimberly, thank you so much. Do you have any weird writing rituals?
Well, I've tried things. I really struggled to get into book 2, so I tried everything to help. I tried, drinking alcohol does not work at all for me. I know some writers seem to say it helps. Candles, music, no music, earplugs. Earplugs is actually probably what works best for me. Total silence, or noise cancelling headphones. And then also the Pomodoro technique, where you put 25 minutes on a timer and you must sit and work without, even looking up. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I love it. So total silence, headphones, and Pomodoro method. Excellent.
Yeah.
Jane says she would love to do a house tour where you pull up the bank, or maybe does that say book? I'm not quite sure. She says she would love to do your house tour where you would pull up the, I think she said bank, but maybe she meant book. But yes, very cool to see your house.
My house is full of little bits of Lego on the floor. So it's a little bit messy.
And she's saying, thank you so much. This was so fun. This was so fun. And Kimberly saying, thank you for sharing your writing habits. Leslie saying, super fun interview. Leslie, so much. Thank you so much. So great to have you. Thank you, Jane. So great to have you. Allie, what's one thing that you wish I'd asked or that you would like to share with us as a parting thought? Something that maybe you'd like us to take with us as we leave?
I don't know. All I'll say is I've never been to New York. And yeah, I was actually supposed to come to New York in September, you know, to do book signings and stuff. But sadly, because of COVID, it didn't happen. As soon as we can travel again, yeah, I want to go there. So yeah, I hope very much to make it to the US one day, maybe in time for my next book. And yeah, I'm just really excited that, you know, to hear all these readers in the US are excited about my novel. It's just amazing to me. Like, you know, you're on the other side of the world and it's just, yeah, a dream. Thank you.
Allie, I love that. And you are going to love New York. It is my favorite city in the whole world. It's just
I always see it on TV and on movies. And I was like, I want to go there. So one day.
Yes, absolutely. As soon as COVID is over, we need you to come over here because we love Australians and we love your book and we love snowboarding. So this is fantastic. Karen is saying, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Allie. This has been great. And I just want to say again, Allie's book has, you guys, this is her first book. This is a debut book. And this woman is earning, and I want to stress that she has been awarded incredible praise for this book. Again, getting a starred review from Kirkus, a starred review from the Library Journal, one of Pop Sugar and Bustle's most anticipated books of January. And you can buy it today through our very special partnership with bookshop.org. Kimberly's going to drop that link in the comments. And when you buy the book through bookshop.org, you not only get to read this fabulous book, but you get to support independent bookstores, which are struggling right now during the pandemic. They need our love, they need our dollars. So buy, shop local, shop indie, and you can do that through bookshop.org. Again, New York Post raving, this book will chill you to the bone. Book list saying an atmospheric winter treat, recommended to those who enjoy recent tales of reunions gone awry. Kat St. John, who's also on the show, said, the Shiver sent chills up my spine. This taut and twisty thriller follows 5 former snowboarding champions trapped in a deserted ski lodge, each hiding dark secrets about their shared past that pit them against one another. I could go on and on because this book has earned incredible praise. Called Gripping by Natasha Lester. Anna Downs raving, a high velocity, heart in your mouth whodunit that delivers not just the twists and turns, but McTwists and aerial spins. Shiver is a total joy to read. I know I can't wait. Allie, thank you for coming on the show today. Thank you for giving us a glimpse into your writing process, your snowboarding, and all the things. Shiver, it's been so fun to have you on, and please come back when your next book comes out.
Oh, thank you so much.
Have a great day, everybody. And we'll see you next time right here on Mighty Mysteries.